Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. We'll get started in just a second. I'm very excited to have an afternoon of AZGeo stuff. It's going to be fabulous. We have three presentations. Jason Howard from MAG, the Maricopa Association of Governments, is going to talk to us about SunCloud. Kasey Green will follow him, and he's going to talk to us about AZGeo in general, tips and tricks. And then Jason Ramsey will follow Kasey Green. So about 20 minutes apiece, and I'll just remind you to put your questions in the Q&A, and I'll moderate them, and we'll take questions at the end of each presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen and hand it over to Jason Howard.
Okay, thank you, Jenna. My name is Jason Howard. I am the GIS Program Manager at Maricopa Association of Governments. I'm going to talk to you today about a project called SunCloud AZ. This fits into the AZGeo picture in that we actually partnered with Jenna and Kasey at the State Cartographer's Office and the Land Department to assist us in standing up this lovely portal that we've been working on. Okay, so SunCloud is basically a project we began with ADOT and some other regional planning agencies. We received a grant from the FHWA Center for Accelerating Innovation in the amount of $1 million to develop this portal and the necessary data sets over 2 years. Now, if you're not familiar with Center for Accelerating Innovation, they are a small office that grants money to agencies like ADOT and MAG to help identify and prioritize innovations in, among other areas, transportation planning. So that's where we fit into the picture. So this was developed as the intent was to develop a cross-jurisdictional portal for transportation, ultimately for transportation planning, but kind of at the core of the year one focus where it's really all socioec and land use data planning or modeling. So the goal ultimately is to provide access to these data that we collect from across the region from these 5 counties and provide a public interface for anyone to access the data and also to provide a private interface so that the stakeholders can interact and share data without having to have that either public facing as you would with an open data portal or through traditional older means like sharing things on OneDrive or Dropbox. So just to continue a bit, transportation involves a variety of data to identify opportunities and needs for transportation projects. And among those are socioec modeling. So the gist here is we want to figure out where is future population going to be, where are future employment centers going to be, and that will inform transportation planning decisions, and that's both infrastructure and services. So in our own region, in MAG's own practice, we do this for Maricopa and Pinal counties. We produce these socioec runs every 3 years, and our member agencies rely on them to basically, help determine, are they on track for their own transportation and other development needs. Valley Metro uses these. Any number of agencies locally can lean on these. So ultimately, the focus for year one is going to be doing this same thing, but across 5 counties. If I don't want to back up, but one of the 5 counties is Pima County. So we have a friend in Pima Association of Governments who can really assist with this pretty heavy lift. because it's a ton of data that goes into the socioeconomic models, and hopefully won't forget to touch on that later on. But then there's Santa Cruz and Cochise counties. They're perhaps they don't have the wherewithal necessarily that we've had in Maricopa and Pinal and Pima counties to develop these data and these models. So part of what we're doing is assisting those sister COGs and MPOs throughout the rest of the Sun Corridor region. Our project partners, ADOT again is a primary on the grant, as is MAG, Sun Corridor, MPO. Gosh, okay, I'm drawing a blank. That's Casa Grande, Coolidge, and Eloy together. PAG, that's Pima County, and Sierra Vista MPO. We also have some project partners or stakeholders that are not part of the grant, but they're major contributors and participants. These are AZGeo, that's Southeast Arizona Governments Organization, and that's going to be the governments of Cochise and Santa Cruz counties. CAG, representing Pinal County. And then we have a number of partners who've emerged along the way, including the State Cartographer's Office, Arizona State Land Department, and ASU. Our primary outreach to everyone has been through a consultant, Howard Ward, and from Terra System Southwest. And Howard has really helped establish relationships with a number of these agencies that MAG would probably not have previously interacted with, because Cochise and Santa Cruz counties are pretty far from our usual, I guess, our backyard, you would say. So in summary, year one is again, data collection and project setup. We have to figure out, what do we need? What are we missing? How do we get this into a standard format? And then how do we actually feed it back to our stakeholders? To date, all project partners have been contacted, either through Howard Ward or through us. We've interacted with 9 cities and towns outside of, again, our usual comfort zone of Pinal and Pima counties. Data standardization is complete, and our strategy there was to see what was maintained by the respective agencies and work towards I guess, a least common denominator on attributes. And as far as gaps go, that's a work in progress. I actually have a status map here that, if I can, this is going to be the trick to see how well we're doing here on figuring out this new platform. Is can I seamlessly jump to Chrome? Hopefully Jenna will tell me if she does not see an active ArcGis online map, because that's what she should be seeing now. It worked. Holy cow. Wow. I shouldn't be so surprised, but I am. Okay, so we developed an ArcGis online map viewer to convey the status of the project, the data collection and integration to our stakeholders and to any other interested individuals. We have kind of a standard, this is just a graphic, and the legend is just a graphic, because the data are standard across all data sets that are discussed here. So just to go down the list real quickly, I don't want to dwell on any of these too long, because it's not a ton of data sets, but I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. Apartment data, this was not necessarily an easy lift for areas outside the MAG region. We did what we could for Pima County, and hopefully they will, PAG will have some input back to us. But as far as we're concerned, it's done and integrated. For Santa Cruz and Cochise counties, we had to rely on some novel data sources, apartments.com, as well as feedback from Santa Cruz County and Cochise County themselves. Bikeways, again, the three more populous counties were fairly easy to pull together. Santa Cruz and Cochise, a little more difficult, but I think we did a pretty good job pulling all that together. And by integrated, I mean, I should back up and explain what I mean by data integrated. I mean, we've smashed it together into a single data set. Bus routes likewise, and this is fairly straightforward on some of these. Developments gave us a little more trouble. MAG has been collecting known development projects for a number of years going back, and that's basically informs our future land use in our socioeconomic modeling. So we have that for our member agencies, all of Maricopa and all of Pinal. But then for Pima County, we had a bit of trouble with PAG's data because it's kind of apples and oranges. I'll just leave it at that. But I think we did an okay job kind of pushing their data into our format, and that is in their hands for review. Still outstanding are Cochise and Santa Cruz counties. We really didn't have a source for future data sets yet. Hopefully that is something that we can work on, because this is definitely a work in progress. Employers, this is basically any employer location having 5 or more employees. MAG already does that statewide, so that was an easy box to check. Existing land use, this is a tough one, and it's in progress. And I'll just skip ahead to parcel geometries, because that's very much related, because that's what we base our land use on, is parcel geometry and parcel attributes. So these things we've collected and we've integrated fairly well, although I don't say here we've done the final integration, but we have it, and we've made sense of the data, if that makes sense. General plans, this is another look at the future land use situation for planning purposes. We were able to collect these data, comprehensive plans and general plans for our 3 counties down in the south. The only general plan we could not find a map for was Douglas. So if anyone knows anyone in Douglas, please let me know. Group quarters, collected and integrated. Municipal planning areas, collected and integrated. And I don't know why my cities aren't showing up. One thing I'm grateful for Terra Systems and helping us with was work on the boundaries for MPAs. That saved me a lot of time. Let's see, we talked parcels, residential completions. These are certificates of occupancy. This gives us some idea of how basically how the pace of housing development, housing construction is going. We have that obviously for the MAG region. PAG, we have something. It's still, that's kind of an outstanding thing that is yet to be done, and we don't have that data yet for Cochise and Santa Cruz. It probably exists because it's certificates of occupancy, but it just has never, I'm guessing, been pulled together at a county level for either one of those. Finally, schools. This is something MAG has taken on doing anyway. We've actually took this over from ADEQ. So we're maintaining a statewide schools data set. Okay, I'm going to switch back now to my lovely PowerPoint.
Jason, while you're doing
Yes.
that, we do have a question.
Okay.
Will other agencies, such as other government or municipal planners, be able to request these integrated data products? This particular attendee says, we usually get the data individually from MAG, PAG, et cetera, and then combine them. Getting a combined data layer would be very helpful.
Yeah, that's the whole idea behind the open data portion which I haven't gotten to yet. Spoilers. So yeah, for initially it'll be a certain subset of data. It's going to be basically the ones we showed in that viewer. There's a couple of other ones that I didn't show here because we've made less progress on collecting and integrating. But these for sure. Parcels. Some counties are a little touchy about sharing parcels. The geometries, probably not, but with the parcel attributes, that's another story, because what we do is our model is expecting, well, our model has been developed to expect a certain input. And so we end up basically reworking a lot of the secured commercial and residential master file data provided by the counties. So that's probably something that would be shareable, but yeah. So a little bit about my super high-tech stab at data integration. Yeah, that's a screenshot of an Excel spreadsheet as promised to Jenna. So a little explanation on the color coding. What we were looking for is commonality across data sets. So we're looking at attributes of bikeways here. So we have our data set and what we collect and what's of interest to us. Pima County has what they collect and push out publicly. Sierra Vista the same, and Santa Cruz County. So those are the bikeways data that we collected. Anything else we filled in ourselves. So getting back to basically the crosswalk aspect of this, we just basically looked at this and said, what are the common fields? Well, that's our green highlight. Name or some kind of name identifier on a bikeway, a bike route was common across all of them. We also have name alt and some of these have a secondary name field. The yellow are partial matches across. So hopefully we have some type. We know something about what type of bikeway it is that we're looking at, whether it's a route, a designated lane, recreation trail, that kind of thing. The jurisdiction. In the case of Santa Cruz County, we didn't have a lot to fill in because there's, I think there's all of 2 cities in one county, and then Pima County's was pretty easy to fill in. So on some of those, it didn't matter if the data were incomplete. We could just kind of piece in the bits that we needed. Status, whether it's active or inactive or planned, that was something we wanted to include. And we didn't obviously have anything for Pima County or Santa Cruz, but so we just assumed everything is active there. The blue coding is stuff that I figured we can plug in ourselves. So if one of them is missing mileage, we can calculate it. We've got a GIS. If we need a unique identifier, we'll come up with that. So that's kind of the purpose of the blue color coding. So that was my strategy for going about crosswalking, how that's supposed to work. Bikeways was fairly simplistic. More complex data sets like the parcel attributes required a great deal more work, and I don't want to show what that crosswalk looked like because the text would just be too small, and too many caveats on what we're looking at. Because what we found is not only are we trying to match attributes, it's a matter of trying to match domains. Because we might have different definitions of what we're looking at on the ground. I mean, a bike lane is a bike lane, but then what we discovered is Pima County had some other, I think another classification that we just don't have in Maricopa County. And I'm drawing a blank on what that is. But that's kind of the idea there, is to figure out with this whole crosswalk process, is to figure out what are the common fields, and within those fields, what are the common values, or how do the values match up? Mostly straightforward, but again, parcels is tough. Okay, I'm going to jump now over to a browser window again. Okay, so you should be seeing the SunCloud portal itself. This was the last part of our year one work, this development of this portal for stakeholders. We worked with Jenna and Kasey at Land Department to establish this as an initiative under AZGeo. And of course, AZGeo is built on ArcGIS Online, so that gives us a lovely front end and a back end that, most importantly, we all understand and know how to work with. So that back end is important because we wanted stakeholders to be able to share draft or otherwise not for public consumption data. So that's all very straightforward. If you already work with ArcGIS Online, you just have your users participate in a group and they just share data with the group if they don't want it public, or they could share it publicly if they want. But having that level of security there was important, we felt, for our stakeholders. Because part of what we're doing with our integration task is creating something and then sending it back to the originating agency to say, hey, we took your data and we mushed it all together with Maricopa and Pinal and Pima and all these other agencies, and we tried to come up with some common understanding of what the attributes are. Did we get it right? So rather than having that hanging out there publicly for everyone to see and potentially download and use, erroneous data, it's good to have that held back behind the curtain. So yeah, I'll just scroll through this quickly. I mean, you can check this out if you want. There's a link in this PowerPoint. So yeah, this is the front end. We have an about page. This is basically high level. And again, this is kind of for the stakeholders' benefit, just a reminder to say, hey, remember, this is what we're doing. You don't hear from us every day, but this is what we promised to do. This is the process we wanted to go through. This is the status. This is where we're at with this project. And at the very bottom of this is a link to that same ArcGIS Online viewer that I showed you just a minute ago. Finally, oh boy, I'm talking for like 20 minutes straight. Okay, here's the open data portion. And this is going to just look very familiar because it's, it's just a basic ArcGIS Online open data implementation. So we have 3 of our featured data sets. I think to date, I don't know how many I've pushed up at this point, but it's more than 3. But let's just take a look at bikeways because we've already been talking about that a bit. So this is what we've got across the I guess you call it a mega region, the Sun Corridor mega region. We've got our MAG data that we basically already are collecting. We've got Pima County data coming from, I think this was coming from Steve Whitney's shop, or at least his portal. And we have data we've developed or tried to plug in from some of our new friends to the south. So Sierra Vista actually maintains a bikeways data set. This is coming in from BLM. This is a lovely San Pedro conservation area. Lovely if you've never been down there. Bisbee, not great for bikes, kind of steep. And of course, the Arizona Trail. This is hopefully just the bikeable portion, because there are actually portions that run through wilderness areas, and bicycles are not welcome in wilderness areas. So anyway, that's what just a snapshot of what one of these integrated data sets looks like. Let's see.
Jason, I'm so sorry to interrupt. We are at 3:25. So
what a coincidence. I'm done.
Excellent. Well, thank you very
Thank you,
much.
everyone.
Yes, absolutely. We don't have any other questions to answer, but if anybody has anything you can connect with Jason in the attendee hub and ask him questions later in the week. All right, so thank you. I'd like to introduce Kasey Green. He is our AZGeo data curator, and he's going to give a bunch of tips and tricks on AZGeo. Kasey, do you want to share your screen? Oh, and you are on mute as well.
All right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Like Jenna said, I am Kasey Green, and I am the AZGeo data curator. I'm also a GIS analyst at Arizona State, and I'm happy to share some of my tips. The first one, AZGeo membership account. This question I get asked, and really, I just want to say one thing, and that only usernames ending in _ AZGeo can access AZGeo. And I found this video, I love it, and I said this would be perfect for it. So I'll play this real quick. Hear it?
No, I can't hear it.
Okay. So I thought that may happen. Basically, he's asking about some rewards and he says only rewards from Caesar can access. You can only access rewards from Caesar on Caesar's card. So that's AZGeo. But your user account allows you to participate in groups, view and download internal data, access GOL applications, and access group applications and data. So just remember, once you sign up for AZGeo membership account, you have to log in with account ending in AZGeo. So your Esri account that you have will not give you access. And tip number 2, uploading data. I put this in here because from our launch, Esri upgraded Hub to they're upgraded on how you upload data. So I like it because they added some things that were not there before. It's really a really user-friendly interface. So you have your device if you need to update it or upload data on your device, Google Drive, Dropbox, or OneDrive, and you can still link to URLs to share data on AZGeo. You can also upload files, so CSVs, Excel documents, Microsoft Word documents, PDFs, PNGs. Just remember the maximum size is 200 megabytes. If you're trying to upload a map or something that has a lot of lines or a lot of polygons, remember you may have to reduce that in order to upload it to AZGeo. Tip number 3, use folders to help you organize your data. You know what, I think this is very underrated because I know some people are not using folders because I see their data, and for me, it's a great time saver. I'm also a chairman of, co-chair of a group in AZGeo, the UAS work group. I'm also on the social media committee, and your files, they just add up. Working with our tools and everything, you'll find that you'll have over 100 files in an instant. Using folders will help you organize and help you get access to the files you're looking for real quick. So I suggest you, if you're not using it and you have an AZGeo membership, start creating folders. Downloading open data. Once again, Esri on the Hub platform, they kind of changed how you download open data. So I really wanted to go over this tip for tip number 4. Once you you find the data you're searching for, a tab, sidebar will come up, and on that sidebar, you'll see the little cloud icon. I have it highlighted here. Once you click on that icon, you have several options you can use to download data, CSVs, KMLs, shape files. So believe it or not, I get asked oh, how can I can't download data. I didn't find it. Well, they changed the platform. So if you go to AZGeo, just remember to look for a sidebar and look for the little cloud icon. Next is explore Esri apps. I think that you shouldn't be afraid to play with applications. With the way they created these application integration allows you to create rich data platforms. Here's the AZGIS job board I created. It uses Experience Builder, but also there's dashboards that's integrated in here and Survey 123. And I think that if you have an AZGeo account, it's free. One thing my mom told me growing up: never pay for something you can get for free, son. And I live by that. So I mean, with that being said, those are the apps, and I just, if you just take some time, you've got some free time on your hand, take time to explore these apps. I don't use field maps myself too much in my job. I teach other people how to use it. But I said, hey, let me use field maps for a personal project. And I mapped out my irrigation system in my yard using my iPhone. I thought that's the greatest thing. So you can explore the apps that are there. Tip number 6, instant app. You know what? This is new. And the first time I used this, is my boss said, hey, we want to create an instant app for one of the sections in our department. And all of us got together and logged on, and basically we went to our content and we clicked on the instant app, and we were able to create a usable app in a matter of minutes, which was great. So that's one tip. It's new. I think it came out in the last upgrade of Hub. But if you haven't tried it, go ahead and play with Instant App. It's really great. Tip 7, to or not to be, map service versus feature service. I get questions on this also. And just remember that both are available in AZGeo to host your data. Just remember that feature services is, provides the option to dynamically set symbology for features. You can work with the data a little bit more. You can add, you have the ability to data, the feature service, which is not possible with map services. Map services, it's already pre-symbolized. Because it's a map service, it can be cached for faster download. So if you just want to present data and host it on AZGeo, remember that map services, if you have a data set with a lot of points or polygons or lines, it may be better to use map services. But I will say that map services cost more in credits, so you have to be mindful. Tip number 8, adding open data to ArcGIS Pro. This is a very useful feature. Once again, I use this all the time. It's definitely something that if you use ArcGIS Pro, it's something that you really should take advantage of. So we're just going to run through the steps. Once you found your data set in our open data portal, you'll see a box right that says view full details. You want to click that box. Step 2, click the icon next to the GeoService URL. This is the Arizona County boundaries. And if you just click here, it will copy that service, the GeoService. And once you do that, you want to head over to ArcGIS Pro, and you want to make sure you're on the map tab, and you want to hit add data. And once you hit add data, this drop down menu shows, and it says data from path. And you want to take that path, you want to click that, and once you do that, a pop-up box will appear, and you want to paste that copy service URL path in the box, the path box right here. So special. And when you do that and you copy it, sometimes the query is on here, and it will not allow you to see your data. So you got to be mindful of that. It's just one of those things that Esri, I don't think they thought about that just yet, because when you copy it, the whole query comes and your data won't show up. So make sure you just remove any query beyond that last slash in the feature service. Once you do that, woohoo! Add an open data to your map, it will show up and be able to use it in your project. Tip 9, and my last tip, is adding AZGeo to ArcGIS Pro. This is another question that I get all the time from our users. How do I add AZGeo to Pro? So what you want to do in your ArcGIS Pro app, you want to look over to the right-hand side. And as you can see, I have a circuit here. You want to click that tab so you can sign in. That tab open up another drop-down menu, and it will have manage portals. So once you click manage portal, it will bring you to the portals, all your portals in ArcGIS Pro. And what you want to do is just add portal. And this portal is AZGeo. Our AZGeo portal is azgeo.maps.arcgis.com. And so once you add that, hit OK. That URL will get to your portals. And once you do that, it will be in portals. And once you do that, you sign in using your AZGeo membership account. So hit sign in. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. First, you sign in with your account and password. Then you hit sign in. And once you see that, once you do that, you'll see your name and AZGeo data hub. And then if you open up your catalog to the right and hit portal, you can see the groups that you're a part of and the that you're able to browse that's on AZGeo. Thank you very much. That's the end of my presentation. I don't know, Jenna, do we have any questions?
We do not, Kasey. It's because you were so thorough that there couldn't possibly be any questions left. You did great. Nice.
I don't know about that, but I'm always available. I should have put my email on here, but if you have any other questions, people know how to find me. kgreen@azland.gov.
Yeah, we can put that in the chat. No problem. Thank you, Kasey. That was just great. Perfect. All right. And our next presenter, Kasey, if you want to stop sharing your screen, I think we can hand it off to Jason Ramsey.
I'm getting there.
Excellent. Jason's going to provide us with a live demo. He's very brave. So, Jason, would you like to introduce yourself? And
Sure.
Yeah, perfect. That's great.
Yeah, so hello, everybody. I'm Jason Ramsey. I'm the principal owner of Veteran Geospatial and Land. So my presentation is just, so I'm very glad that I followed Kasey, because it's really complementary to the presentation before this, but how to make a quick and useful web application on AZGeo. So it's only a couple PowerPoint slides and then it'll just be all live demo after that. So first thing is you want to sign up for, an AZGeo account, and there's different levels, but you just navigate to right here. You'll see kind of the different levels, and if you want to sign up, you fill out that form right there. It's actually a survey 123 application, probably created on AZGeo, but so yeah, once you sign in and you'll get a username and password, you come in and you log in to arcgis.com. First, if you log in, it's probably going to ask you to log in to your organization's URL. So you probably put AZGeo right there and then continue. And once you continue and pass your credentials, you'll be actually in, you'll be in, ArcGIS online on the AZGeo, data hub right here. So it's, the URL's up here, but just we'll get started really quick. So to start out with, to create an app, you first need to create a web map. And so you open up a blank map. For this particular example, say I want to do some research on some parcel or some properties in Yavapai County. So I'll start out with, add layer, go here. If you go to my organization, it'll show the layers that are hosted on AZGeo. But so I'm just going to do a search for parcels. Some stuff has come up, but Yavapai County parcels, click on it, read the data. It looks like it's what I want. Add it to the map, right? So it's not scaled. If I zoom in, the visibility will come up, but I'm just going to accept all the defaults on the properties here, so I can actually just, if I want to, close that. And if you zoom in, this is one of the things that we're talking about. This is actually a feature service and not a map service, but click on a parcel, see if it works. So the pop-up is there. Looking through the data, I really want to know, some information, maybe who owns it, the acreage. I'd like to know zoning and maybe, limited property value and taxes. But looking on this specific layer, the parcel layer, doesn't have all that information. But if I go back to here, so I have my layers, right? If I go out there, so I have this, if I want to go back, show properties, here's a nice little trick, right? So this is hosted right on AZGeo. But if I look here, if it wasn't hosted on AZGeo, it might, if it's a REST service, it would go probably directly to the REST service URL. But I want to see what else there is for Yavapai County. But I can go in here, and similar to what was discussed in the last thing, here's a URL, right? That's the actual REST service for that. But I want to explore, see if Yavapai County has anything else published. So I can go here, go back up to services, and look right there. There's zoning map and map service, and there's all these different layers, but I'm just going to add this root layer right here to my map. So if I go here, add web service, paste that, it's going to go, but whoa, look at that. There's the zoning, except, I probably want to change the transparency so I can see the parcels. So I'll just go there. If I want to X out of there, but go back to properties, but want to X out of there. And then I probably want to reorder my map. So that was good. So that's zoning. And so I wanted to see if there's any tax, maybe some tax information. So looking on, Yavapai County's REST services endpoint, there's treasure, that's the thing. So there is a map, there is a parcel layer, from treasure taxes, and I can look, and if I click on it, I can see all the different attributes. So I want to add this too. So I'll add that, go copy the URL, go back here, same thing, add web service, paste, And looks like it's taking a minute, but we shall see. Should take a 1 second, should add it. Again, you know, if I want to reorder things, want to view, you know, want to view any of the properties, you can just go like there and then show properties. Because this is another parcel layer, but it has different attributes. I think I'm probably going to just make the transparency completely, make it 100% transparent. And then we want to make sure, I'll just check and see on here, you know, the pop-up is enabled and it's showing all of these. Let's just say I don't want all those things in the pop-up, but I go field list, select fields. That may select them all, but then it's going to deselect them all. So really all I want from this is, you know, maybe the tax information and the limited property value, which should be up here. Current, and then, you know, maybe we'll just say that's good enough for this. We'll close that out. So now if I zoom in, click on a parcel, we should see what happens with our pop-ups. But so the parcel information is coming through, the tax information is coming through, but zoning's not coming through. So something's going on, right? So I just know for a fact I'm in Prescott, but so actually, so if you go through here, properties, you know, the pop-up probably is not configured. So enable pop-up should be good to go. Yep. So let's just say I have everything the way I want it now. All I just need to do is save it. So I'll save the map and then give it some kind of title. You know, give it a tag, parcels, and then some summary like lookup map, and then save. So the map saved. What that did is some more context options, you know, menu came up. So now there's create app. So I can create a web app from this from now. Now I'm going to go with the instant app and see, now we're doing on time. Instant app, and you can preview these things. There's a few different canned instant apps. I'm going to go with the zone lookup. I know that's the one I want to use. So again, you know, you got to give it a title. Then tag, it already tagged it, you know, from the map. If I wanted to add tags, I could, but let's just create the app. So this is the configuration of the app. It's already, because it was created from that web map, it, you know, it's already pointing to the map, but you can point it to a different map if you wanted, but it is in there. You know, you can kind of preview it and you can do some stuff in here. On the instant apps, you don't have a lot of control, but you can kind of see what it is. But so if you look, you know, the taxes coming through, the parcel information is coming through, the actual zoning is coming through, and you know, everything looks like I want it. So I'll just publish it, and it says confirm, and it'll give me, so it's published. So it's not shared with the public. This is, you know, you can change the share settings. So this is under my content actually, and this is the actual where it is. But because I'm only an AZGeo user, I don't have the option to share the public. If I need to share the public or with other groups on AZGeo, I need to request to be an AZGeo contributor. And at that point, you would have an option here to share with my organization. And I believe you also have the option to share public, but Kasey could probably answer that a little bit better. But at any rate, so if we go back, let's just view the application, you know, have it open. This is exactly the way it's gonna be. You know, and go in here, click any pop-up. Seems like it works. It tells you actually the address there, all that. So what I realized, you know, I don't like the base map. I want to have aerial imagery behind there, which could help. So all I have to do is I just have to go back to my map, which, yeah, here's the map right here, right? I just had to go back to the map and I can change, you know, make some changes in it. You know, I want maybe the hybrid so I can see street names and stuff. And then if I save the map, which, okay, the map's been saved. If I went and refreshed the web app here, let's refresh it, the base map or whatever changes, if I change the pop-up, add different layers, configure, you know, different configurations, it'll change onto your web app. So, you know, now, but I don't know, I've been speaking for maybe 10 minutes and doing this while I spoke. And, you know, we do have a working web application going, you know, that can help do some research on parcels. You know, like anything else, it takes maybe 10 minutes to do this. And the difference between a good kind of application and a great one is in the details. So I probably would take some more time, you know, and really dial in the pop-ups. I could even, you know, with arcade expressions, make it where it's a single pop-up that has information on all 3 layers that I have added, things like that. But in general, that's how you make a web app, and that's how quick it can be on here. So I don't know if you have any questions. Here's my contact information. And again, if you need any help with anything, you know, there's the website and there's general contact information, but that's my presentation. I can't see the chat if there's any questions.
That's excellent, Jason. And how cool. You made a fully functional app in what, 15 minutes or less? You did a great job. We do have one question in the chat, or I'm sorry, in the Q&A, and I'm wondering if it, I guess I'll let you guys decide if it's best if Kasey answers. The question is, are we able to export our own feature services from Arcmap or Pro to our AZGeo Arcgis online account? Kasey, do you think that's best handled by you?
Yes, actually, you can upload or update services in ArcGIS Pro. It's built in, as long as you have an AZGeo account, that's quite possible. So, I probably should add that in there also. But.
That's okay. I think too, it does depend on their permissions. Isn't that correct? What permissions they've got in AZGeo?
Yes, you have to be, you do have a contributor in order to do that. So that's easy to request on our AZGeo site. There is a page for contributor access.
Excellent. Well, thank you all. You've done an excellent job, and I think, you know, we're all really getting used to having AZGeo as a resource in Arizona, and I think that's excellent. Thanks for showing it off. It's great. I'm going to go ahead and remind everybody that's been attending to take our survey. Thank you for a fabulous day, day one of the Education and Training Symposium, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning. We start at 9. So thanks a lot and have a great evening.